Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Marshfield School Committee meeting on Tuesday, February 7th. Mrs. Pazerski, if you could please call the roll.
Mr. Greer.
Here.
Ms. Stetson.
Here.
Mrs. Brate. Here. Ms. Boyd. Here. Mr. Costello.
Here. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please also join me for the Peace Builders Pledge. I am a peace builder. I pledge to praise people, to give up put downs, to seek wise people, to notice and speak up about hurts I've caused, to right wrongs, to help others. I will build peace at home, at school, and in my community each day. Under the open meeting law, I'm informing the public that this meeting is being videotaped by Marshfield Community Media. If anybody else is taping this meeting, either audio or video, please notify us of such at this time. Seeing none, I do have one more thing that I need everybody to do before we launch into our meeting. Today's a very special birthday for one of our members, Miss Brate. Happy, happy birthday. If we could all please join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lara. Happy birthday to you. Hey. Thank you for being with us on your birthday.
Wouldn't miss it.
I want to see that in the minutes.
Yes.
All the words of the song.
John, you did this to me once, too.
I did this to you at the middle school DC field trip in front of like 500 people.
Right.
No shame. All right, great. Well, thank you, everybody. We have a lot on the agenda tonight. But first and foremost, we're here at South River School. It's always good to be at South River School, and we're here perfect timing because a staple here at South River School is retiring at the end of this week, and we want to recognize Joe Zankowski, Josie, who's one of the very best people that we have in the district. And Joe, we'll have more to say soon. I'll turn it over to Mr. Granatino, and then I'm sure we'll turn it over to your administrative team here.
Yes, I don't want to step on Emily and Amy's toes, Ms. Beard and Ms. Foltz. They will speak a little bit about Joe. He's had a big week already so far. We had a nice assembly yesterday in the Monday morning meeting where we got to bring the people from the Ventress over with all the students and staff here, and they celebrated Mr. Z, and I think every day is something Mr. Z-centric, so it's been a great and very worthy celebration of someone who's done so much for this school, this community. Josie's the best, and I've worked with a lot of folks, and it's been a pleasure. And he doubles up by overseeing our building as well, so we see him and his team at our place a lot at the Ventress. And when you have good people, you know it. And we've known it for 8 years. The 8 years I've been here, I've known it, and I'm going to miss him a lot. And but I'll turn it over now to Ms. Baird and Ms. Foltz.
Mrs. Foltz is actually going to start us off. So we're going to start with a little handout, and this starts back to the very beginning of this school year. Mrs. Baird loves a really good positive reinforcement system for our whole school community. And we have a Baird buck. Mrs. Baird's face is on the $1. We've got a Foltz 5. My face is on the 5. But it's very fitting that Mr. Z is on the 10Z. So what that means is anytime a student is showing expected behavior, they're rewarded with either a 1, a 5, or a 10. And of course, the fan favorite is the 10Z. So the kids just really love it. So you can use it as a bookmark or something fun after the meeting is over. So to start, as we already mentioned, Mr. Z is retiring. His last day is Friday, and I'm going to do my best to keep my composure. Mrs. Baird had the pleasure of doing this part of the presentation on Monday morning for our entire school community, and it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So what we did on Monday with our whole school is we shared some retirement advice from the mouths of our students to Mr. Z. He'll share some of those in a moment. They were really special. And then, even more remarkably, we had some 6th grade students from the Furnace Brook Middle School learn that Mr. Z was retiring and reached out and said, we really want to honor him. So they came back to South River and they did a beautiful presentation, and I think that is a beautiful tribute to the mark you've made on all of our students. So, so our first little slide here, I know that some of you might need to turn around to see, but some of our younger students, their retirement advice was to certainly take it to the beach, to go on vacation, and just to relax. Some other students thought Mr. Z might enjoy skydiving, or to go skiing, or to be an all-star hockey player. The one in the middle there says, saved by the goal, Mr. Z, the best goalie ever. Whoa, you're the best. Other students thought he might enjoy some outdoor adventures. You could go hiking, go on a cool adventure. And finally, another favorite is, what is he going to do with all his free time? He should open an ice cream truck. That's the best.
We did think that was the. And this was one little note that one of the students wrote, and it says, I hope you know that you are special, as it says, very special, and you help keep clean South River School, or SRS. You make it shine, and you are kind, and everyone in the school loves you, which is exactly true. And then this was our last slide that we shared, and it said, Mr. Z, when you retire, you should unretire and come back to South River School. So, now we're asking you officially in front of the school committee, will you unretire? We won't. Yeah. But Joe did say he'll come back and help anything we need him, so that is awesome. But Joe, I think you know that I'm still in a little bit of denial, and I'm just gonna go slow this week because it's gonna be a tough week all around. But we just can't thank you enough for everything you do. And Joe is more than a custodian in our school. He is a huge role model for our students, and he is compassionate and kind, and that is what the school is all about. You might notice we have a little mini Mr. Z. So mini Mr. Z is being hidden all over the school because Mr. Z does some fun things for the kids. And one of them is he hides this duck all around the school. And the kids didn't know it was him until I told them on Monday. Some of them have guessed, but so the duck is always in strange places and they find him. So now the kids are on the hunt every day for finding the mini Mr. Z. So they're very excited about that. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. So thank you, Joe.
Well, that's my pleasure.
All right.
Thank you very much. And I have a couple things to say. Ms. Baird, I told you before the meeting that Ms. Stetson and I were here around the holidays, and we had the pleasure of talking with the Women in Your Friend office, and Mr. Z had just put in his retirement papers, and they showed us that you sent them back to him in a big folder marked "Return to Sender." I think that is something that says everything you need to know about a person when they work in a school, but also I think we work in a district, and we all are part of a community in this district that values everybody in the district and values our custodial staff, but this is so above and beyond that, Joe, and that's very, very special. And I've never seen anything like this in terms of a reaction, not just for the retirement of a custodial staff, but for anybody. I mean, it's you have that direct contact with students every day, and you make their day brighter. And we see it when we come here, and we see it in your face by just how much it probably pains you to even have considered retiring. But we're very happy for you. We know that you'll be around. I know you'll be around. I know where to find you, just a couple doors down. But we're very happy for you, and we appreciate everything you've done for not just for the students that you've benefited through working here, but clearly the staff and everybody here who loves you like a member of their own family. So we appreciate you, and congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it myself. I mean, it's been my pleasure. Do what you love. You're not working, but it's been great.
And just so you know, Joe has not been mailing it in. A week to go in his career, and we have minus 35 wind chill factor, so we did have a bit of a pipe issue, a small pipe issue with the Ventus, our building across the way, and Joe was on the horn with me throughout the weekend, down here working on it, getting the folks in to fix it up, and he takes pride in everything that happens, and when something goes awry, he's right on top of it right to the very end, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything to add, Joe?
Just thank you for, sorry, go ahead, Rich.
Nope.
Just thank you for all that you've done here. My nieces have had the privilege of coming through South River School. My youngest niece came home the other day screaming, I got Mr. Z's autograph. And my niece Annabelle doesn't get super excited about anything, so I'm like, wow, that's a really big deal. So
Sloths,
just-
she does get excited about
She
sloths.
does, yes, and red pandas are also her thing, but just thank you for all that you've done for the school.
So we're gonna see that autograph on eBay pretty soon. It's amazing that it speaks to the district, right, when we have people like yourself here and, the impact you make.
Thank you. I mean, I feel it back at you, is that it's, it works all the way around. It's a great place to work, and just makes things easier for me and everyone.
You said he's a couple doors down?
Yeah,
Which way?
not towards you.
Okay.
Well, congratulations, Joe, and thank you for everything. One more round of applause. Awesome. Okay, this is a good transition into our spotlight on excellence, and I'll let you, Principal Baird, lead us down the hall. for our
Yes,
spotlight.
I just want to give you a quick
Oh,
little,
sure, yes.
just so you know what you're going to be seeing. So, our first grade students are going to be showing you what a number corner looks like. So, as you know, we have our new math curriculum. And as part of that, so everyone has their math lesson every day, but there's also a specific component called number corner. So that's a standalone piece. That's about 20 minutes extra of instruction. Do you mind clicking that? So the number corner really has 5 components, and they change a little bit as the grades go on. Obviously, they get more in depth, but it's really, there's 5 different routines, so the kids call them workouts. And you'll notice in here, really the dialogue among the students. I think that has been the most unbelievable part of Bridges, is hearing kids talk about math in a way they have never talked about it before. It moves quickly, and they're constantly introducing new topics that come back and cycle through. So it's not like, oh, geometry unit is coming in March and we've never seen geometry before. It just keeps coming through, and number corner is their way to weave everything in. They will progress through. In the older grades, they do more of like a workbook page with the number corner piece. You probably won't see that in first grade today, if you don't mind clicking it. But what we have found, this is a little hard to see from there, but we also have iReady, which is our student, they take an assessment on it, but then also students have an independent pathway. And we have seen our data really go through the roof so this is the beginning of the year to the end of the year. The beginning to the middle of the year. So the coloring is tricky, but I'll just show you with my fingers. But the green stripe, which is all the way to here, was only to here at the beginning of the year. So that's above grade level or meeting grade level, and already at mid-year we're here. This is meeting, and then this is students who are 1 year behind, but before we were all the way to here 1 year behind in the fall. So you can see with the addition of Bridges, like how fast, you don't typically see that much growth so quickly in a short period of time, and that's only been October, November, December, so 4 months. That's pretty remarkable. And last year we used iReady as well, and our data did not look like that. It was not so green all the way across. So, and we should see it become more green and more green as the year goes, but that's pretty unbelievable data for us. So, do you mind clicking it? So you'll see in the number corner, you'll see this is what the first grade one looks like. So every grade level is obviously different. They have different components, and the teachers have to change all of this out every single month. That is the one thing about Bridges. I need to give our teachers some props. The amount of planning, preparation, and time it takes to teach Bridges is enormous. And you'll see in there, you'll see her probably run through 4 or 5 different little things, but those are all mini lessons she had to prepare. And then on top of it, she's also preparing her math lesson, which has 3 other components. So that's, for a teacher, a lot. And then all of the materials this takes, but then all of the materials that their actual lessons take has been unbelievable. The math coaches have been instrumental in helping, and our front offices have been helping. But when you see it in action, you'll kind of say, oh wow, that has to get redone every month, and everything on that calendar changes every month. So just so you get a sense of that, I'm going to show. So 5th grader, you can kind of see it's obviously a lot more in depth. They use problem strings and solving problems, where the younger grades is more on the calendar grid, the calendar collector. And the older grades too, they don't necessarily all sit and update it together, like we'll see with first grade. They might only do it, 3 times a week, but the kids will independently do it. That will be a job in the class. So without further ado, I think my first graders are probably ready to finish. So excited, and we've made them wait now. We're down this first grade class. So hi everybody. Are you super excited? Do you want to give everybody a big wave? So they left school today being so excited for this, so this is very exciting to get to come back to school at night, to be on TV, and to do math with all of these grown-ups watching. So take it away, Miss Pollard's class.
All right, so we talked about this morning, and because we do Number Corner every day, some of the things we're doing is actually tomorrow's activity, and some of the things we're doing, I'm just going to show you what they did this morning, because normally Number Corner is almost 30 minutes, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't take up your whole meeting. So the first thing we do is our calendar grid. Right now, thumbs up if you have a prediction. I didn't even get to finish my talking. A prediction about what tomorrow's card will be, based on our patterns. Everyone have an idea? Okay, here is our grid. You're going to turn to your partner in a moment and talk. Shape, sides, vertices, and if it's congruent. Turn and talk.
Eyes to eyes, knees to knees, time to share your thinking.
Turn back. I'll move our cards so that everyone can see again. Shape A. Flan, what are you thinking?
I think it's a rhombus.
Why?
Because it has 4 sides and 4 corners.
Ooh, excellent. Any other observations? Seamus?
So, I noticed that it's a little smaller than A.
What's a little smaller?
B.
B is a little bit smaller than A. Okay. Allie?
I think B is also a rhombus because B also has 4 vertices and 4 sides.
Okay. Mickey?
So if you turn the card over, shape A would be longer. And if you turn A sideways, that one's longer. But if you turn it correctly, B is longer.
Okay. Observation, Declan?
That they're both parallelograms.
Okay. Kira?
I don't think they're congruent because the A is more wider than the B.
Kendall?
I don't think they're congruent either because A is longer than B.
All right. Should we test to see if they're congruent?
Yes.
Okay, mathematicians, can you come test? And I'll leave this here so you can check the dots. Oops, sorry, Flan. And then before you match them, make sure you show everyone, because not everyone knows what we're doing. Oh, I'm going to make an observation. You're both going to do A. Someone needs to do B. Good practice. Ready? And I'm going to hold the card up so we can see again. Go ahead, show everyone what you did. How do we test to see if they're congruent? What do you guys think?
So I think they're not congruent because Flame keeps turning it and it's not the same.
What needs to be the same to be congruent?
This one would need to go to that one, and this one need to go to this
So are they the same size?
one.
No. Are they the same shape?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can it be the same size, shape, but a different size?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So are they congruent then?
No.
No. All right, you can put those down. Let's do our recording. So we're going to record for tomorrow, even though it's not tomorrow. So I'll put tomorrow's date. And I heard a bunch of friends say that it is a rhombus. So I'll record that. Thank you, Allie. Lan. B is also a rhombus. How many sides did we have?
4.
4. How many vertices did we have?
4.
What is a vertice?
It's the edge.
Jane? The corner. Good. What do we think? What did we just prove? Ainsley?
Not
It's not congruent. So A is not congruent to B. So that is our calendar grid section. The next thing we do is our days of school, and because we did this morning, they came up with all of these equations to equal 102. So some of them that they came up with was 50 plus 50 plus 2 equals 102. 98 plus 4 equals 102. 103 minus 1 equals 102. 40 plus 40 plus 22 equals 102. 500 minus 498 plus 50 equals 102. So as you can see, there are lots of ways to make 102. And we saved these up so that you could see them because we didn't want to spend another 10 minutes making up new ones. So tomorrow, we'll make them up for tomorrow's days of school. We also today already collected our Unifix cubes, and then we compare the graph using some of our math vocabulary words. So we did that this morning, so we're not going to do that one again either. One of the other components I know you heard about is the number line. That's our number line. We are not doing that activity either. The last activity that we are going to do is our computational fluency activity. So for this, raising our hand, how many cubes are red? Charlie?
3.
3. How many cubes are yellow? Kira?
7.
7. How many cubes are green? Michaela?
6.
6. So on the top of your board, we're going to write 3 plus 7 plus 6. Go ahead. Thumbs up when you know which 2 you are choosing to add first. Okay, so add your first 2. Don't forget the third one. Wait. When you have finished, check with your partner and see if you agree and have a conversation, but let them have time to think and finish as well. Go ahead, solve that problem.
So I think
Finish first.
the
Gotta finish first. Oh, you don't say, yep. Yep. And then add your third number. When your partner's ready, you can have a conversation about what you did. If your partner's not ready yet, make sure you check. What is 3 plus 7? Okay, you don't have to write anything. Just write it. And then add your last one. There you go. So if you're both done, you can have a conversation. Good, Declan. Playing good? You're just waiting for John.
7 and 3 equals 10. And so 10 out of 3 is 16. So that's 7
Denise, what's that one?
6. Okay, so what's your
3 plus 6. 3 plus 6. Backtrack. 6 and then 3 more. Right, 9. Less?
So it's really hard to
Yep. Now, keep going. Good job. Have a conversation. Dr. Mickey. One last minute to have a conversation.
I think it's 9 plus 8.
All right, markers down. Who can share their thinking? Charlie, you want to share your thinking?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I added 7 and 3 first because I know that would equal 10. And then if I add 6 more, it goes 16.
Excellent. Who solved it a different way? Mickey, what did you do?
I did 7 plus 6.
Why?
Because it equals 13.
How do you know that?
Because 6 plus 6 is 12. So if you add a 7, it would be 13.
Excellent. So we said 6 plus 6 is 12, so one more would be 13. Yep, and then what do you still need to add?
So if you plus 3 more, it would equal 16.
Excellent, nice job. Did anyone do it the other way? Oh. Allie, did you do it the other way?
No, I accidentally.
That's okay. I think someone did do it. Michaela, you did it, right? What did you do?
I did 3 plus 6.
3 plus 6, and what did you get?
I got 9, and I got 7 equals 16.
How did you know 9 plus 7 equals 16?
Because I know 7 plus 3 equals 10. And if you subtract 1, it'll equal 9. And then if you add, then I knew that 10 plus 6, and if you add 1 more, then it will equal 7. So I know it's 16.
Good, so you moved 1 from here over there to make our 10 plus 6, and that equals 16. Excellent job. Can we add these add-ins in any order?
Yes.
Yes. Did we all get the same answer though?
Yes.
Excellent job. That is our number corner for you. Guys, raise your board.
Ms. Polishcast, thank you so much for sharing with us. I bet there's a lot of grown-ups in this room right now who forget what a vertex is and what makes a rhombus, right? I'm getting a lot of shit. And I'm going to let you in on another secret. We didn't learn this in first grade. We probably learned it in 7th, 6th. Yeah. So this is pretty impressive.
I needed to teach myself the congruent symbol. I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. No way. But yes, so they're learning.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ms. Polly, for having
Thank
us.
you.
Great job, guys.
Good work.
And I think Mrs. Foltz has a very special thing for all of you.
What do you think? 10Z for everyone?
Oh my. Nice job, you guys.
We're going to have a big deposit this week. Thank you guys so much for coming. Parents, thank you so much for
Well, that was an awesome spotlight. Thank you again. We appreciate it. Before we go into our regular meeting minutes, I'm going to recognize Miss Boyd for a moment of personal privilege. So, Miss Boyd, the floor is yours.
I don't know, I think after that, I might, That was really great. So what I wanted to say, and I kind of wrote it down so I don't forget what I want to say, but I wanted to say that since joining this committee in 2017, I can honestly say that this role and the chance to work alongside such a talented and dedicated team has been one of the most rewarding opportunities I've had so far in my personal and professional life. I'm really proud of what we've accomplished together and all of the ways that we've partnered with families, educators, and our staff to create safe learning environments that allow our students to grow and thrive. So, as I look ahead to the next 3 years, I want to give someone else in this community the opportunity to be a part of this important work, and so I will not be seeking re-election this spring. I can't imagine a better group of community members and a leadership team. We've made so much progress, we've taken on so many challenges, and we're really working to ensure that our students have what they need to succeed now and in the future. There's so much to celebrate about how we've worked together these past 6 years, so many people to thank and so much progress and innovation to recognize, but I'll save all that for the last meeting I get to attend in April. I also can't think of a better team to work with during a global pandemic. All of you met the challenges that were presented by this crisis and did so in a way that was always with the students' best interest at heart. I will be forever grateful for your hard work, literally around the clock sometimes, and how tirelessly you sought solutions. Finally, I'm really gonna miss working with all of you. We've had to have some hard conversations over the years, but every single one of them has been positive and respectful. And I think, as we know, that's just not always the case with school committees these days, especially in other parts of the country. And that's a testament to all of you. This is where I'm going to cry, because it's Marshfield schools, and really all of you have given me and my family, Owen, TJ, and Aaron, much more than we could ever give in return. So I'm grateful to have been a part of our progress, and I look forward to continuing to support our schools in any way I can and watching our students thrive.
Per Ms. Boyd's request, we won't spend too much time lauding her today. Thank you. This is a loss for Marshfield Public Schools. You have been an outstanding representative of the community and somebody who has invested so much in public education in this town for 6 years and beyond that. I will start to cry if I start to talk about your kids too. I've had all 3 of your kids in youth and government and absolutely love them. And the only thing that you've done better than your job on the school committee and the energy you've invested here is the energy you've invested in raising 3 incredible young adults. We will miss you, and we love you, and we appreciate everything that you've done, and we look forward to recognizing you more formally down the road. But thank you, thank you, thank you, Bridget Boyd. Thank you is not enough to recognize everything you've done. So I see there's a couple people here who are crying and probably would like to say something. Rich, pull it together.
No crying in school.
I guess I'm next. I need to get it together, so I don't have that much to say right at this moment, but I want to thank you for your friendship. You've been an unbelievable mentor to me and a friend, and we're like a family. This is so cheesy, but it's true. Like, we all love each other, even me, Rich. Yeah, and we're the lucky ones.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Nope, nothing.
Sorry.
I've had, it's been good working with you. I think it's a good high-performing team, right? We have, the true cross-functional high-performing team. We're all different, we work together, we butt heads, but in the end, we go out and have a beer afterwards, for lack of a better way of looking at it, right? So, anyway, you'll be missed.
I will keep it brief, but I've been blessed in my years here, the members of the school committee. I mean, besides these 5, there's only been 3 other ones, so I did my math wrong before this. And, so it hasn't been a lot of turnover, and all of the people here have been so dedicated. But, with Bridget, She just brings so much, intelligence to the discussion. Not that the others don't, but I'm just saying her approach is a little bit more measured. It's a little bit, sit back and listen before speaking, and then coming up with ways to solve the myriad of problems that come the way of any school district. But she does it with compassion, with a sense of tact, an understanding of the impact on all of the stakeholders, whether students, staff, or families, and really embraces the idea that we are one big district. Everyone in this community is part of this district, whether they have students in here or not, and Bridget recognizes that. And it's not often when you can call your bosses your friends, but I look at each one of you as not just folks I have to report up to, but who I call close friends. And Bridget's truly one of my closest friends, and her family has been a part of my family over the years. Our daughters got to become really good buddies, and that doesn't happen all the time. So I'm blessed in what I get to do, and I want to thank her for everything she's done for the school committee and for me. So thank you.
I just want to announce I'm doing a write-in campaign for Bridget. Yeah. No, I wanted to say also that I think we all learn from each other. Maybe not from me, but like I learned from other people. So that part of it will be missed. Hopefully a replacement role. They have big shoes to fill.
Yeah, and I'll look into the camera as we say that whoever is elected to fill the shoes of Bridget Boyd has a massive task in front of you. And we look forward to working with whoever that may be, and learning from them, as Mr. Greer alluded to. But this is, we're going to miss you, and we appreciate you, and I'm going to stop making you uncomfortable. And we'll move on to another topic. Thank you. Okay, we are going to move towards our student representatives. We'll have you guys go first so we can get you out of here. The floor is yours.
Should we stand up?
Whatever you'd like.
Okay. For the middle school on this Friday and Saturday, the 10th and 11th, FBMS will be hosting their theatrical production of Shrek Jr. And for the high school tomorrow, the 8th, at 7 p.m., Marshfield High School will be hosting the Evening of Jazz, where the music faculty of Marshfield and the MHS and FBMS Jazz Ensemble will be playing together just as a fun experience. It's $5 per adult, $4 per student, and $10 per family maximum. And MPSD staff do free with their ID cards.
I guess I'll stand up too. So here at South River, on the 17th, they have a Beach Spirit Day. And then for Amesway School, they have kindergarten registration on the 9th. And then they have their Valentine's Day. They wear red or white or pink. And then for Daniel Webster, they just have their kindergarten registration. And then on February 13th through the 17th is their Spirit Week.
Thank you. You guys are free to go. You don't have to stick around.
Wait, you have Mrs. Pollard?
Yes, I
Yes,
did.
I saw you take a picture.
Awesome. Yeah, so I saw my picture. She had them all from all of her past students, so
Aww.
I took a picture with her just to say
That
I'm
is so
taller
cool.
than her now.
That's awesome. Thank you both.
Thank
Could
you.
do me a favor and just leave the door open when
Yep,
you leave, just
sure.
in case people are looking for the meeting. Thank you. We'll go on to informational.
Sure. Just a couple quick things. I've been hitting the lunch circuit. I think if you watch my Twitter account, you see that. But it's probably one of the most meaningful things I've done in a little while. And I try to do a lot of meaningful things. But spending a day or lunch period with the different cafeteria teams across the district has been something I've wanted to do. Pazurski made sure I got out there and scheduled it finally, and I've been able to hit 4 of them so far, and it's been a blast.
Nice.
I've been at the Governor Winslow, the Amesway, the middle school, and the high school so far. And each school is unique and different in the way they do their lunches, but it's fun working with. It's all women so far, so it's all the women I've been working with are terrific, and they appreciate that I'm there, kind of seeing what's happening behind the scenes. But what's most important to me is not the food's great and it's nutritious and they have lots of options, much more than when I was in school. But it's the little connections that they make with the kids, which every school has. Even the high school has it with big kids and over 1,000 students. They remember when Johnny comes through, he likes his he doesn't like the potato tots, but he likes the broccoli, and then they'll put aside certain dishes for some kids. Some kids were a little shy to come through the line, and they'll put meals to the side and get them to them privately. And they know if somebody has something coming up, they'll ask them about a family member. And some of them are playing music back there, and it's a fun environment. And we talk about the social emotional learning for our students, and that doesn't always just happen in the classroom. It doesn't happen in the halls. It happens in the cafeteria. It happens in recess. It happens on the bus ride to school. And anything that can put a smile on a student's face for a period of time and make them feel at ease is only going to help them more in the classroom when they're doing their schoolwork. And I think so far, 4 out of the 7, I'm guessing the other 3 will be just the same. The environment they create in the cafeterias is not just important for the nutrition, but it's important for the social emotional well-being. And our folks, hit it out of the park when they work with our students. So it's been a lot of fun. Yeah. The kids are all kind of perplexed by why I'm there. Are you a lunch lady now?
Got demoted.
No, I tell them I was the hardest I've worked. Got me out of the office.
That's awesome. Can I just say on that too? It's really cool to see. I think I can speak for everybody when I say we appreciate you getting in the weeds like that and seeing that stuff happening at that level. And also, it reminds me when. I think when Ms. Stetson and I were first elected to the committee, and Mr. Greer was on as well, there was a lunch staffer at the high school named Laurie Souza. I don't know if she's still there. I don't believe she is, but she got the yearbook dedication at the high school. And so it's pretty cool just to piggyback on that, to see the relationships that our students can form with that lunch staff. And I'm glad that you've been seeing it firsthand.
Yeah,
so thank you for doing that.
It's been great. We met last week too with our safety committee from across the district, and Ms. Stetson and Ms. Brake. We're there present with a number of our Marshfield Police Department friends and allies, and talking about our current protocols and tweaking things that we think need to be tweaked, and reaffirming some of the things that we're doing that are going well. We're having some more. We always have obviously the scheduled fire drills that we do each year, but we have lockdown drills as well. And we talked about them a lot and what we need to be doing to kind of enhance them a little bit more. Unfortunately, we have to be prepared for the worst, and although we don't like to scare folks, they are things that we have to do, and any district could have something befall them unknowingly and never can be prepared for it. So that's why we do these drills, and in light of what happened in Virginia, we had a lot of folks that reached out to us and wanted to make sure that we were doing as much as we could to make sure that the students and the staff had the proper training and protocols in place. So we're very fortunate to have such a great relationship with the police, and they were more than willing to help us. And again, most of the stuff we're already doing, but they noticed things that we could be doing a little differently in places, and we're enacting those. So it was a good meeting for all of us.
Yes.
I just typed it out here, so let's do an old-fashioned paper copy. Besides coming into the cafeterias, I've also been in the classrooms, and most recently in the Santoro's class. I got to talk to them about my experiences in 1978 when the blizzard of '78 hit us, and they wanted to find someone old enough to talk about that. So I don't know if that was a compliment or not, but I remember that day well, and so I recalled some of those stories with them, and they were great. They had wonderful questions, and they were so excited to hear about things and how they were different back then.
And Luigi the dog.
What Luigi the dog is. I had to talk about my dog Luigi, and they thought that was cute. So, but it was great. Miss Santoro's team is awesome, and some of those students in that class are pretty special. Also, we've been working with Ms. Coots, our early childhood coordinator, just looking at the spaces again in the new pre-K building that is now our property and being worked on. As we speak, the grounds have been, the winter's been great. Other than this chilly weekend, they've been able to do a lot of work around the facility to get some of the field work done that will help us, when the school is ready to open. We've been looking at some of the classroom designs and some of the things that we might need to do. But overall, it's again, we're very fortunate that the building is in move-in condition in most areas, and once we do some of the basic work that we discussed back in the fall when we made the purchase, the classrooms, being able to set up 4 new classes in there, is going to alleviate some space immediately at Ames Way for us. And we'll still continue to have two buildings, Daniel Webster as well as they'll have four classes, and we'll have four at the new building, with, you know, the ability down the road to maybe, you know, add another one or two if we need to. So it's all going well, and the groundwork around the building is on target for the spring and for the opening in the fall. MEF grant cycle is still underway. We have it until March 1st for this year's grant. So, and they're having a help session tomorrow for anybody that has questions, and sometimes teachers that are new to it just need to get some things clarified. So Ms. Carmen and her committee will be at the Vedfest tomorrow at 3:30 to meet with any teachers that have questions about that. We're hoping to see some great grants. Again, last year they passed the $1 million mark, and they're looking to do more. And that being said, the MEF, again, we met last week, and they're always looking for new members. So if anyone's out there that wants to join and help, and whether you're a full-fledged member, a voting member, or just a member at large, the more the merrier. They have the big events coming up, the road race, and then in the summer, Circus Smirkus, and they have dates set for that, so they can always use bodies to help. And then that's it. Just congratulations so far. Our winter seasons are almost over. The regular seasons in gymnastics and boys hockey have already won the league titles. So congratulations to those two teams. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Grantine. Dr. Martin.
I'm just gonna say, I think his next job is taking the place of Mr. Z.
Yes, there we go. That's an idea.
There you go.
You can hide the doctor
You
under
can
there.
even
You know.
have.
Some G
We'll
bucks.
find, yeah.
Cool
we'll find
G.
some
Cool G. Yeah, there you go.
Last week, PD for elementary focused, we have a lot of math focus, as you can tell. Special education met with Lisa Diker, our PLC groups ran. Our PD committee, believe it or not, has already met and started talking about next year's PD and what we want to see for that. This afternoon, our elementary math curriculum council met to just talk about bridges, what they need for the rest of the year, what they're looking forward to for next year. One interesting thing, our curriculum leadership team, this year we've been focusing on universal design for learning. But Amy McAlpine has done a great job researching the artificial intelligence in ChatGPT. If you haven't heard about that, you might want to look it up. It's a big game changer, and so we focused on that this past session. Had people play around with it, just get used to it, think about some ideas. We're going to move forward and start generating some ideas of how we can use it in a good way. She and Megan Molander are doing some presentation tomorrow at the high school and doing some work with their staff and hoping to branch to the middle school soon. And then one other thing, today at the middle school for their staff, they had a Pans and Pandas informational session by JBC Pans and Pandas Foundation. Ms. Galaro and I managed to get over there, and it was amazing. Like, it was just a great presentation, and I think it was eye-opening to a lot of people about the struggles that some of our kids are going through. So thank you, many thanks to that foundation for their work.
Thank you very much, Dr. Martin. Ms. Sklar.
Okay, just two quick things. So from the pupil personnel part of my job, I would just like to mention again that kindergarten registration is now open. Families can register their children online or in person at their assigned schools. All of the information is online on the MPSD website. The district asks families to register their children by March 17th. Registering in March is incredibly helpful because it allows us to plan, to make sure that we know the enrollment numbers so that we can ensure that we have the teachers and the classroom spaces and the instruction materials and support staff and everything ready to go. Also, the preschool registration is open, and the preschool is accepting applications through March 1st. So any family interested in learning more about the Marshfield preschool can visit the preschool section of the Marshfield website. In addition, the preschool staff is hosting an open house at DWS on Wednesday, February 15th from 10:30 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. And it will be a great opportunity to meet the staff, to visit classrooms, and to learn more about what the MPSD integrated preschool has to offer. So, and also I just need to throw my congratulations out there to Mr. Z, because I was privileged to hire Mr. Z when I was the principal at South River School, you know, and he truly is, like, look at the impact he has had. He is an amazing custodian and an even more amazing human being. Just every inch of him is genuine and kind and caring, so I congratulate him.
Thank you, Ms. Squire. Appreciate it. Mr. Miller?
Just a quick update on the budget. There's not much of an update. I'm still working with Tyler Technologies and the town finance team, working with a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of downloads, putting out a lot of fires and trying to get a line item budget together. I'm hoping by our next meeting we'll have that accomplished, or even prior to that, so we can get the budget subcommittee together. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Any subcommittee reports at this time? Okay, we've reached a point in the meeting for public participation. If anybody would like to address the committee?
I really didn't have anything to say, but I just want to wish Mrs. Boyd, thank you for all your time and effort. I'm sure 95% of the community doesn't know how much time and effort you put in and the nights you give up, so since I'm the only one here, congratulations, and hopefully your endeavors, whatever you decide to do with this free time, hopefully it'll be satisfactory, and thanks for helping our schools.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, just for the meeting minutes, I need you to state your name and the street you live on.
Sure, Scott Swain.
Okay. Scott Swain. Thank you very much, Mr. Swain. We appreciate it. I see we don't have Ms. Marples here for the MEA update, so we'll move on.
Good call.
I'm also, what's that?
I knew she was there.
Oh, sure, okay.
Sorry.
I'm also going to table the minutes to the next meeting. So we'll start with our old business, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Granatino to talk about the principal search updates.
Just real brief, two things are moving forward. As you know, we've been in the process of interviewing candidates for the interim principal's position for the remainder of the year at the Ames Way School, with Mr. Campier resigning as of the end of this month, retiring I should say, and we named Ms. Milch, Jane Milch, as the interim principal for the remainder of the year. We had a handful of candidates that we sifted through and interviewed for, and all real top-notch folks, but Ms. Milch is going to take the charge for the remainder of the year. She's very excited. Obviously, she's been a lifer there. She's been there since just around 2000, 2001, and has been an administrator there since 2012, and knows that building inside and out, knows the kids and the staff and the parents, and has been working on the curriculum and on MCAS and teacher evaluations. So I mean, her knowledge of going into this process will ensure that we can kind of keep the ball moving forward at the EWS through the end of the school year, and then we'll be starting up the full-time search process for that probably in a couple weeks, end of February, maybe latest early March. We want to get out there and get some good candidates out looking to become our full-time replacement for Mr. Campier, who again is going to be greatly missed. So we're excited for Ms. Milch, and we sent notification out to the staff and the families earlier today to share that information with them. So we're excited now. She's very excited to hit the ground running. So we're good there. And then I'll turn it over to Dr. Martin, who's overseeing our search process for the replacement at the high school for Mr. Kuther, who's going to be retiring at the end of the year. So we're not quite at this level yet, but she's putting some stuff together, so she can kind of walk us through where we're at there.
Yes, so we have the search committee put together. There were quite a few people that were interested, whether it be staff or even students and parents. So we have, I'm just going to pull it up. We have 4 MHS staff members. We have Ms. Baird here. We have Mrs. Kemet from the middle school. We have 2 parents. We have 2 students. We have Mr. Costello. We have Ms. McAlpine and myself all serving on that committee. So we are having an initial meeting tomorrow morning just to go over the process and how to look at the applications through School Spring, and what our job really is to find that 2 to 3 finalists, to then probably have site visits and things like that before Mr. Granatino makes the final decision. So we hope to make that decision by the end of March or early April. It does depend on people's schedules and the timeline, and making sure we have quality candidates that we can review in the first place. So, but we're starting and we're getting the process underway. So.
And even for the folks that might not be on the committee itself, when we get to those finalists, they're going to be coming to our schools, coming to the school, the high school, and having a chance to speak and answer questions from staff, as well as for parents. We'll set up sessions for parents as well. So everyone's going to have a chance to see these finalists, and there'll be some type of ticket to fill out, sharing their thoughts. on each of them. So that's gonna help, weigh into the measurement of each candidacy. So this is a pretty comprehensive process that's gonna have, input from all stakeholders, which is great.
We did get a great deal of input on the survey. At first, we didn't get a lot of students, but I asked Mr. Kuther to send it out just to the student body, and the responses went through the roof. So that was really, really impressive, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Any questions, comments?
No, I'd be interested to see that. Yeah, see the results, just.
Yeah,
the survey?
that's
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
If you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Thanks.
Great. Okay, moving on to the Northeastern University Partnership. Mr. Grantino.
Okay, well, this will be a joint presentation, just an update from Ms. Brait and myself. Again, as I mentioned at the last meeting, kind of briefly, this partnership was looked at starting back last spring when I was out, and Ms. Brait and Mr. Miller went up to their lab campus up in Burlington to see what they do and what they look for when they set up these campuses in different communities. And the premise behind this is to see if they want to do something down here in Marshfield, where we have a coastal environmental issue around the Brant Rock region. The Esplanade, as you know, is impacted every year by the winter, that whole section of town, and it's only going to get worse. So how do you solve the problem? You can have experts coming in and looking at this and trying to solve it on the ground, not just theoretically in the classroom. That's the best way to do it. And if you can do that and help solve a problem in the town, which will allow that part of the town to be able to develop further, then that helps us as a community from another lens. And then if you can incorporate students from the high school or even middle school maybe, getting involved in any type of this, any part of the maritime environmental work that gets done, whether it's for students who are currently enrolled at our schools, or it might be for students, as I mentioned before, that have graduated. They're not sure if they're going to college, but they might want to, get into this field. So it's almost a workforce training program. It's an educational support program for, marine biology or environmental science. And you can partner with Northeastern and have their brand here, their people here, their tools here, and we're working with them to try to provide a space where they can kind of house all of this. You have a four-way partnership that is second to none, and I haven't really seen it happen in many communities, and I'm kind of excited about the possibilities that can go on here. But you have the school, you have the town, you have the Chamber of Commerce, who's knee-deep in this, along with Northeastern, and the four of us, I forward you a draft memorandum of agreement that eventually will have to be signed if we go down this path with this project, which I think makes a great deal of sense for everybody. But it's going to help all four stakeholders greatly. And at the end of the day, my most important responsibility are the students, and it's going to help. And it's going to help kids who are currently in school, kids who might be graduating, providing internship opportunities possibly, and beyond all the work that's going to be focused around the maritime environmental issues that we've identified. It's going to be one more way in which we can eventually have dual enrollment opportunities for our high school students, where, even if this wasn't going on, they want to partner with us so our kids can take classes that will get them college credit while they're still in high school. So it's a win-win across the board. Obviously, there's some things that have to happen, and that's where I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Brait, because she's been working behind the scenes with Mike DeMayo from the police department. The harbor master obviously has a vested interest in this property and this opportunity. And we've been meeting. We met again today with folks from Northeastern. Ms. Brait was there along with Mr. Devaney and Mr. Bowers from the chamber. Mr. Maresco couldn't be there; he had a conflict, but Mr. DeMayo was there. And there's a grant that's going to help part of this, because the goal here is not to have this become part of a budget matter that's going to cost the district or the town money. We're looking to secure some funding through grants, and I'll let Ms. Brait kind of take over from there.
Sure, yeah, you did a really good job, Ms. Brait.
Oh, yeah.
From the Chamber of Commerce perspective, a lot of people say, like, I don't even know what a Chamber of Commerce is, right? What do you guys do? Well, to answer part of your question, we look at communities as a whole. And what does that mean? It means so many things. And in Marshfield, we have 3 business zones, one being Brant Rock. So there's one downtown Marshfield, there's one in Brant Rock, and one up by Enterprise Drive. And when we look at that and we look at the master planning that's going on now in town, we see, a huge problem, obviously, with our seawalls and the flooding. And what can we do to make sure that that area is sustained for the future? There's been specific studies that show that that area could be underwater in 50 years, and that's not that far away. I just turned 40 today, so. So we're actively, our economic development team, which Mike DeMayo is part of, he is a board member of the chamber too. So he's doing triple duty on this. You know, we look at all those things and we say, what can we do? And we're very lucky to have an awesome, engaged board of directors and membership that are willing to share their resources with us. And that's kind of where this partnership came from. One of our members is a board member at Northeastern. We've been having conversations with her, and she kind of pointed us in this right direction. So we're moving forward with writing a grant. Mike and I were working on it today, along with Jared from Northeastern, and like Mr. Granatino alluded to, and at this point we're asking for around $3 million. So we're going to see how it goes. We may or may not get that grant money, but as Mr. Granatino stated, there's more than one piece to this puzzle. So part of that is bringing a lab space to the town. That would be most of where the money goes. Getting that up and running, of course, it would need to be staffed. We need to have a location. All kinds of things need to happen. But it was really exciting to be on that call today and hear that Marshfield, again, is one of the best communities they've ever seen. He said you guys are light years above the other communities that we work with. The fact that you guys came to us with this already developed partnership is very, very exciting. So they're really excited to come here. I know that we'll be able to make it work. It's just finding the funding sources and having support from all the other entities. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I would never bet against you.
Yep.
So
if anybody has any questions, I'm happy
well,
to
there's two
answer.
things just going forward, you know, this MOU that we have to, you know, agree with, and we'll share with our council and make sure that, you know, it's one that they've used with other communities, so I don't see it being an issue. So that has to get finalized, and then the grant itself, I think is due, what, February 28th?
It is, yeah.
So we're all doing, each of the different stakeholders are doing their kind of a little synopsis of
Piece of the puzzle.
How this will benefit us. How, if we get this grant, how it's going to benefit the town, how's it going to benefit the chamber, how's it going to benefit Northeastern, how's it going to benefit the school district. So we'll put that together. The folks up at Northeastern have done grant work, you know, ad nauseum, you know, over and over and over. Most of their work that they do in their lab schools, their lab campuses, is done through grants. I mean, the premise behind what they want is to get a community that wants to partner with them for, you know, space to be identified that can be used by the college, but then for them to bring their expertise in, the scientists, the people behind the scenes. It's going to be almost like a mini maritime think tank that they want to try to create here. And oftentimes they try to bring in, you know, private sector organizations to help them. I know up in their Burlington office, they have Raytheon has whatever lab space they have up there, they have room allotted for folks from Raytheon that are working on the same site, and there's other, he didn't name all the other companies, but there's a few of them that are up there, and their whole thing is all biotech stuff. But I'm sure there's a lot of maritime environmental groups that would love to be down here doing stuff with them, so that's the idea, to kind of bring them in as well. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
Awesome. Yeah. Very exciting. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Thank you both.
More to come.
Moving into new business, New England Academy. This is the first read, Mr. Granatino.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a little bit more, you know, drawn out and intricate, but we met as Scalaro has been meeting with the folks from New England Academy. They have a current private school set up in Beverly, and it's been very successful for 15 years. It's a private school mainly for students who might have, you know, social emotional issues, you know, depression, anxiety. But it's a college track school as well. They're NEASC approved, they're DESE approved, and they had bought space down here a couple of years ago probably, and they've been building it for the last year up behind the Boys and Girls Club going up the hill there is where their campus is going to be. It's not a big school. I think ideally when they're all said and done, when it's fully developed, they might have 75 to 80 students there that could be coming from anywhere in the South Shore. I mean, there's kids from the South Shore now that go to their campus up in Beverly. That's what drew them to trying to set something up down here along the South Shore. The first year, they're guesstimating probably 30 to 40 kids. They're not going to be fully enrolled. It's a 7 through 12 program. You know, again, it's not a school where you just apply and get in. I mean, there are some privately funded situations where parents will just unilaterally put their child there, but most of it is done through working with the special ed departments in each of the home districts of those students. And if it's agreed that there's a need for the student to access the program at New England Academy as opposed to their home school, then that's how it works. And we have that relationship with schools across the state. But each time they move into a new town, it has to get voted on by the school committee. We have that actually in our policy as well. And it's a pretty straightforward thing because they've met all the criteria. They maybe want to make sure that there's satisfactory instructional programs, that DESE has been involved and has approved their programming, and that really, we can't vote. I mean, even if you had a desire to not see a private school set up in here, if they meet all the criteria from the state, and they have, then it's a straightforward action of the committee to not invite them in, but to vote to say that they, you know, we don't object to them setting up shop here. Am I missing anything? No. So we got to meet with the director, and there's a new, the overall director of the program, and then their newest, the person will be the point person here in Marshfield is a sped director in a nearby district, and she's going to be changing positions and taking over the school next year. So transportation-wise, they're not going to be having the big yellow buses. If kids are getting transported, it'll typically be by vans, and they're aware of our start times, and they're kind of trying to set them up so they're kind of in between schools, so it's not that people are coming in at the same time as our buses coming to the high school or to the middle school. They'll have some extracurricular opportunities at those schools, but I don't think, to start off with, I don't think they said they're going to have sports teams, but they will have like drama and music and stuff like that. So,
Mr. Green.
Yeah, so I have a question. So if the students go into the school that's in Marshfield, and just say for a sport that's not offered at that school, can they participate in Marshfield?
Not here, it depends. So if it was a Marshfield student that we decided in the team meeting that it's best for that child to go to New England Academy instead of Marshfield High School, since we're part of that decision, by law, they have the ability to take part in athletics here at the high school. And that's been long-standing for my 30 years in education.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but if someone is from Milton and they're sending their child here and they wanted to play in still play in Milton High School hockey, but they're going to school over here, they would have the opportunity to go to play on the hockey team in Milton. They couldn't play in the Marshfield team, only if we had students there.
So I'm a little confused. We send students there, or parents can elect to send their students?
A parent can unilaterally decide to pay if there's space for them to go into this program. But we would have if that's the case, that would be akin to a child going to, say, Tabor Academy or Thayer, and if they don't have a program there, they can't go back to their previous school because they've made the choice to move out on their own without the team process that drives it.
Mm-hmm.
So, doesn't happen often. They're aware of that, and they make it pretty clear to their folks that if you're coming in unilaterally, your ties back to the sending school are not what they would be if they were in there based on a team decision.
Okay. It was more of a financially based question, right? Are we on the hook for anything coming to town? All right, thanks.
Any other questions?
It could go both ways financially. I mean, we transport students now to some far out communities, and we're paying, $100,000 a year to transport students to another school in, I'm throwing out Weston, those type of communities for these schools. If there's a similar school put in Marshfield, that transportation becomes, that out of district transportation goes away.
Yeah.
There could be an influx. There could be more students that potentially could go there, but Amy would be
So we do everything we can we're mandated to provide student services in the least restrictive environment. So as much as possible, we want students to stay in the Marshfield Public Schools. But there are times when the least restrictive environment is that we are looking for a school, with a different setting or for whatever reason based on the needs of the students. And at which point, that's a Marshfield team that's coming together with the family and making that determination. So, but that can only happen when a team is in agreement that, you know, that's in what the student needs, that Marshfield is unable to provide the services that the student needs. It's the only time that happens.
Are we obligated to transport?
If there are students, yes.
If we've determined the least restrictive environment is another school outside of Marshfield, then we are responsible to provide the transportation.
I mean,
We've transferred students to Beverly.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand that, like, we're sending them out of district, but, you know, we're not obligated to transport our own students 7 through 12, right? Unless they're.
Oh, we are obligated under those kids that are
Because
going
these
to
are all in
district.
IEPs?
Because it's their only way to get to that school, yeah.
That doesn't apply.
But if the parents, that unilateral piece we were talking about, if they elect just to
Then they're
go
on their
there,
own.
then we don't.
Then, yeah,
Is that
exactly.
your question?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, so if they've chosen just because they want to go to a private school, but it's not part of the team process, they're paying the private school and they gotta, you know, get their own transportation there.
Yeah, so is that something, maybe that's something to think about, right? If we have a number of students that we end up sending there, do we want to buy an extra van in lieu of contracting it out?
Well, we wouldn't, we have our own van, that we would use our own vans.
Not for students that are out.
No, what he's talking about here in.
Oh, yeah. So
Marshfield.
so that would be, we would have to transport the students to the new school in town. And we would, but again, we already have our vans in town, so that the added expense there is very minimal compared to what we're spending now to have a single vehicle pick up a student and drive them to Beverly, et cetera,
So
on a
this
daily
is,
basis.
this is really no different than any of our other out-of-district options. It just happens that the out-of-district option is in-district because it's physically here, but it's the same procedures and protocols we would follow if we were sending a student to a school in Belmont or Whitman or Beverly. Again, I don't think we have one there currently, but I think there was somebody from Marshfield that went to the campus school up in Beverly before, so.
Right.
Good. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay, thank you very much, Mr.
All right.
Valentino. I'm sure we'll have that at our next meeting.
That's fine.
Do we need executive session?
Just briefly,
Okay.
2 seconds.
Okay, so that concludes the business before the committee tonight. The chair will entertain a motion to enter into executive session and not to re-enter into full session thereafter. Is there such a motion on the floor?
So moved.
So moved from Ms. Stetson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Boyd. That's a roll call there, Ms. Fazerski.
Mr. Greer?
Yes.
Ms. Stetson?
Yes.
Mrs. Brady?
Yes.
Ms. Boyd?
Yes.
Mr. Costello?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.